Yeah, it's actually, this is the thing, is this happens every December. We often do special Checkpoint episodes with like, goofiest stories of the year or something because there is no actual news. And particularly this year, like I said, with the Mondays being on days when people are going to need to, do stuff like personal things, we were like, yeah, let's just have a hiatus, but let's tell people about it in advance this time, instead of just, yes, yeah, we're done. Instead of just, oh, perfect.
Oh, it's so wide.
It's very on brand.
I'm so happy right now. I'm going to wear this for the rest of the day. I might wear it home. Well, it'll be dark by the time I go home.
Aren't the Game Awards this month? Yes, but
Well, we had a plan for that.
we're going to cover those live.
Yeah.
This Thursday, it's on the schedule. We're actually going to be co-streaming the Game Awards, so you can get all your Game Award related snark from us live as it happens.
We're gonna red carpet that shit. We're all gonna like dress up in like nice outfits.
I better find a nice outfit.
I've got all these dresses that I've worn to the charity dinner and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I can wear those. In fact, oh yeah, if I wear this, I can take off the sunglasses because it's dark.
Yeah, you look like one of those like superheroes who's trying to hide their identity by just keeping their face in shadow all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
whatever you got to do.
That emote does look
actually,
really good.
Ooh, the screens are
on Retina. That emote looks really good.
Oh yeah, nice emote, Manfred 909. I wonder what sort of strange occult symbol that could be.
Lord Hosk says, Kathleen, I feel your pain. Literally offers consensual internet hug.
Thank you, Lord Hosk. Consensual internet hug right back at you.
So let's talk about some of the stories that we talked about.
Yes.
Okay, that golden possum.
I know.
He's so cute. I love him. Now, it is important to note that the Australian brush-tailed possum is not like an American, like, hissing beast thing.
Yeah, they're much cuter.
Yeah, Australian possums are different. We have a book called Possum Magic that I read to Penelope sometimes that we got the first time I went to Australia.
Are they actually like the same animal?
No, someone
or
said
like the same
Somebody gave us possum
species?
Yeah.
Or whatever
That's what I said.
genus?
No.
Oh, they just kind of look the same, so they called them
both called possums.
Yeah, I think so.
The
I
Australian
think they're
version is
both
nicer.
marsupials, but I don't think they're like technically related. I think Australian possums are more like closely related to like the tree kangaroo kind of stuff.
Yeah. Technically speaking, I have no idea whether Australian possums are like nicer, but they look cuter.
But do they scream at own ass? Possums and possums are not the same species, no. All right.
The thing I liked about that story is that it's an albino possum.
Yeah.
Basically, is what it is.
Or like a semi-albino possum?
Yeah, I guess it's not quite as
I think it's albino, but for some reason this albinism, it looks yellow.
Yeah.
But one of the things they talked, like obviously usually at a shelter, the idea is that you help the animal out and then release it back into the wild as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. And they're saying in this case they probably will not release it out back into the wild because it's basically because possums are nocturnal animals and they're like dark brown, right? So they basically it's like just a sitting duck for any like owls
any predator.
or anything.
Oh, look at that bright one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one looks tasty.
That one looks easy.
So they're going to be, which conveniently also means that we can look at it more.
Hasiosaura, no, I didn't hear about that. So we've got the PlayStation Classic. There's an exhaustive breakdown.
It's like a 25-minute long YouTube video.
On, what's the channel? I was just
Digital
watching.
Foundry?
Thank you, Digital Foundry.
Yeah, they're very thorough.
Very thorough. I gave you the TLDR of it, which is basically just like due to the way that it's emulated, and like he breaks it down why things look like they do, and then he gives like very specific examples of how it's different in comparison shots. He's done an amazing job doing it.
The one that
but yeah,
really,
it looks bad and it sounds weird.
The one that really got me was the shot of Ridge Racer 4 running on this like similar hardware with an almost identical emulation engine, and it looked amazing. And then it's like, but on the PlayStation Classic, it looks like butts.
I mean, here's the deal. Like, yeah, there's way better ways to play this. But the problem for me is like, yeah, you can emulate these things on other systems, but most people are not going to go to that much trouble.
No.
Or don't know how to do that, or are aware of all of the things that you can do to like improve your emulation. And they just want to buy this and plug it in and have it look good.
Yeah, I mean, it's even easier.
You okay? You need some water?
I think I need some water.
All right. You want to go get some water?
Paul, can you
Yeah,
mute
yeah.
my microphone?
The thing that really got me was so there's games that ran on, there's the 60 hertz NTSC games, and then when they would release them in PAL region, they would be running at 50 hertz, so they would just be sort of slower. And 9 of the games on the PlayStation Classic are the 50 hertz versions running in a 60 hertz emulator. So not only are they playing slower, but the frame rate is bad.
Yeah, it's doing like frame doubling every once in a while. It's considering, I mean, it's always amazing to me. Like, this happens all the time, right? Like, basically, whenever any big company does an emulation thing, it's always disappointing
Yeah.
to varying degrees.
The PAL version's also a different res?
Yes.
Originally, yes.
I think.
Well, sometimes.
I mean, PAL actually is higher resolution.
By a couple lines. Well,
Yeah.
More than a couple.
More than a couple, by like a dozen or so lines.
Theoretically,
It upscales better.
well, yeah, theoretically, the PAL ones will be higher resolution. The problem is that a lot of them were ports anyway. So, like, and a lot of the times, the PAL versions originally weren't any better because they were ports from the NTSC versions.
So they just had like some weird like, they were just like slightly widescreen squishy.
But I was just, it always amazes me though that they don't, like, considering how invested
Can I reach out too?
and
Yes, you left.
rabid the fan base is for emulation stuff, like, and how involved the fan base is for emulation stuff. It always amazes me that they don't just be like, hey, let's ask literally anyone
Yeah.
anywhere in this
The
community.
people who do this already,
Yeah.
what the best way to do this would be.
Yeah, like, they're already using open source emulation and open source stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Lithobreaker was just
So it's
like,
not like they're
Nintendo does
using-
it well by ripping off open source. It's like this is Sony's
so
using
it's not
an
like
open
there's
source
proprietary. I mean,
emulator.
of course,
They're just using the wrong one.
the superb irony in this, of course, is that way back in the day, Sony and Connectix had this massive legal, like, long drawn out legal battle about the emulator,
The virtual game station.
Virtual Game Station,
Right.
which was like one of the first PlayStation emulators and pretty much the only emulator that's been released like retail-y. And they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. They got injunctions against them, and then Connectix argued their case and got it removed and back and forth until finally Sony just bought them and killed it that way.
Wow.
So now it was way back in the day, and now they're like, yeah, emulation maybe isn't so bad.
The Artifact story is interesting because I mentioned that they've been getting criticism and praise in seemingly equal measure for how the monetization works, because it's very much like you get the cards that you buy initially, and then you can buy some booster packs, or you can go to the Steam marketplace and buy the singles. And some people are like, "Rah, that's pay to win," and other people are like,
Finally.
Yes.
"Oh, it's all really obvious." It's like we are aware of how this all works. Nothing is obfuscated. It's all just right there. And it's like the way that other TCGs work, but now it's official.
Literally the way Richard Garfield intended. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, there isn't really any way to sugarcoat in terms of like pay to win, and you know, the pay to win criticism is very much real paper Magic the Gathering has that problem as well.
Yeah.
And so, but the idea, for some reason, the idea of having like a modern, quote unquote, modern style card game, digital card game, like whatever Hearthstone or Gwent or Arena even, but using this slightly kind of retro style monetization system, I find very interesting, because like one of the only digital card games that does use a system is like Magic the Gathering Online, which is very much not a new setup.
Sorry, it's actually not the way Garfield intended. Was that you'd buy like a quarter of a box and that's your lot. Well, to be fair, that's not even what he intended. That is what he assumed, right? He was like, well, people aren't going to buy a whole thing. He did the notion that people would want to find and catalog and track down every single card was not in his original plans, because he didn't consider that would be something that would happen, because he's a much better card designer than he understands people. And
this is pre-internet and so forth.
yeah, exactly. And so it's intention. It's a joke, right? That like Magic the way Richard Garfield intended, but it is interesting to see sort of what he was like. Well, obviously this will be how people play, compared to how it actually span out in the real world is sort of interesting.
Yeah.
And from a strictly dollar standpoint, the general consensus is that, for instance, buying a top tier deck in Artifact is actually pretty cheap in comparison to what you have to go through in something like Hearthstone in order to get that same. Because in Hearthstone, of course, you have to, or a lot of the other things, how you do it is you have to buy a ton of packs and hope that you open it. Right?
The article I was reading was saying that it would cost about $300 to buy
the full set.
The full set of Artifact, because some of the expensive rares are even now like $25-$30 on the Steam marketplace.
The price is fluctuating wildly.
Yes, they sure are.
But yeah, we'll see how this. I am kind of curious how this isn't just like strictly just loot boxes and gambling, though.
I mean, that's the question that I don't feel equipped to answer it, because that is an ongoing thing that with various places around the world determining that loot boxes are gambling, and then it's like, well, what is a loot box? What defines the loot box as gambling? Does this then count as a loot box by that definition?
Yeah, there's a very specific reason you can't just go out and buy the Hearthstone cards you need.
But I can't. Yeah,
you got to be able to earn them.
I mean, we talked about this, but I can't think of a definition of loot boxes that encapsulates the kind of loot boxes that we don't like, but excludes packs of Magic cards, packs of baseball cards.
I mean, yeah,
any kind of blind that excludes any kind of blind box thing.
Which is why Wizards has this sort of self-imposed blindness to the secondary market. Right. That they are like, we are making booster packs of 15 pieces of randomized cardboard. To us, they are all equally worth the same. They are a couple cents a piece.
And I think that's important.
Right. Like, we're not, because if they start taking the secondary market into account, then the whole thing is, so that's why they do that. That's why that sort of like legal delineation for them has to be there. Whether or not that holds up is up to people with higher pay grades than us.
But in this situation, Valve is directly controlling the secondary market.
Well, now hang on. Yeah, exactly.
And so they theoretically can control how many of these $30 cards are out there.
Exactly.
Which opens up a whole can of worms.
That is weird, yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, moving on. Do you already make a lot of money on Valve? Good news.
Yeah, what the hell?
Well, I mean, here it is. There's a very succinct comment that I think summed it up in the Gama Sutra comments. And I think what it is, God, you can't see my face at all. I'm just the specter of gaming finance information. I think what it is a lot of larger publishers were getting ready to leave Valve. I think EA's gone.
Or have already left.
Years. Ubisoft has Uplay. Bethesda launched their own store for 76.
They're certainly hedging their bets.
What's the point of paying? I think a lot of people saw Epic can just sell Fortnite because it's just popular enough. They don't have to put it on the Google Play Store because Android phones, technically, you're not tied to using the Google Play Store, unlike iPhones. PCs are the same. We don't have to go through Valve for convenience of distribution. We have money. We have reach. We have a name brand game. We're not an indie developer.
Right.
Valve was also saying this is good for indie developers because keeping these big games in their player bases sort of is like the rising tide lifts all boats situation. I don't know about that.
guess.
That's what they said in their press release.
Yeah.
If Valve really cared about helping out indie developers, there's a lot of other things they could do to their service.
Other than making it so big developers make more money.
Yeah, they could use some of the vast tracts of money that they have to, like, moderate.
I didn't include that argument in my
fair enough.
story because I was like, that's stupid.
It is like I've actually seen some speculation that this is literally like if you're Ubisoft or if you're EA, this is what you want, and this is actually like it's like you spend however many millions of dollars, say you're spending whatever $20 million to set up your own storefront. It's worth it.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's worth it for them to have done that to get this concession from Valve.
Yeah.
Like it's possible that they'll just close their storefronts now because they're like, okay, we got what we wanted. Like it was literally
Yeah, we're going to be making an extra $3 million per game or something.
Yeah,
like
it's like
that.
we're willing to spend this amount of $1 million to make it so that we can have a storefront, but if we don't have to use it, great.
I mean, they'll probably keep them around, right? Until, but who knows?
But it's an interesting, it's an interesting proposition, and the idea that maybe that this could actually skew game, like publisher. For one thing, theoretically, publishers for a given game, if you're making $50 million.
Yeah.
Like if you sell enough of a game to make $50 million, you're now making whatever $5 million more than you previously did. So theoretically, that could go into more marketing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Plus, it means that if you, the interesting thing I saw is that it means that if you're releasing because it's per game, right? So if you're releasing a new game. Like if you've got a game that's made $50 million and is at that better rate, if you release a new game,
You're get back to square one.
yeah, you're basically like $5 million in the hole before you even start, as opposed to releasing like an expansion to an existing game.
Yeah.
It's an interesting. I wonder if the value proposition will be changed at all. But anyway.
Just something that I saw further back on the thing when we were talking about card games, is we were saying that we were talking about Wizards not acknowledging the secondary market, and then people were like, yeah, and then they printed master sets. And no, you need to understand, Wizards knows what they're doing. They were very careful about this. That the master sets are there to assist card availability. They never said. Obviously, they know about the secondary market. Obviously, they know that cards cost money and people buy singles, but they don't publicly acknowledge it. And when they were talking about the master sets, it was that these cards were harder to find, that they were unavailable. And when they did things like the reserve list, it was the issue of the unique collectability of cards, not about their monetary value. Again, we know what they actually mean, but to be clear, they've been very careful about it.
They had a bunch of lawyers look at the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is actually, and it's not like it isn't just a like a smoke screen.
No.
Like it is actually like a real thing that I do think is very much in their minds, and I think it does make it makes the value proposition the way it should be, which is that like they make cards mythic rares versus other things because of how it will affect like the draft environment and stuff, as opposed to
They want to make them more special.
Yeah.
And believe me, they have no qualms about being like, hey, we're going to put these 8 really fancy cards in a box and charge you $200 for it. Right, but you know what you're getting there. So it's like, oh. Anyway, speaking of money, the last story was the Red Dead Redemption Online beta, which is still technically in beta, But yeah, man, you should check out the Red Dead Redemption subreddit. Ooh boy.
Is it salty?
And while it's because it's in beta
Due to
right now,
dehydration?
Yeah.
because it's in beta right now, you can't actually like buy money with
No.
buy
Gold
gold
bars.
bars with real money.
But the grind, the fact that support ticket was like, yeah, you don't get very much money for a lot of hard work, and it's like, oh, that sucks. That's miserable, and the part of the 18th century that we were not keen to replicate. And yeah, people are just talking about the level of grind in this game.
I love the
8 hours to get a gold bar, which you can buy a haircut.
I love the response.
What's the point?
I actually I double checked the quote because I wanted to make sure that it was correct. But I love the thing with
The typo?
no, not the typo. I would like to inform you that this is how a game is designed.
Yeah.
Not the game. Like this is not how Red Dead is designed. It's like, by the way, this is how games are designed
Yeah.
to make money.
Yeah.
Like it's such.
This wasn't someone did this as like a screenshot.
It's such like a condescending way of saying.
This is you can read this on their support page. Like
Yeah.
this is a publicly available support ticket. That they were like, nope, that's how it's designed, and yeah, it just seems like it's what there was a quip that someone used in the subreddit that was like,
Oh yeah, 18th century versus 1800s. That's interesting too.
right, yeah, it was like 18th century wages for 2018 prices.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is that it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you made, you made whatever the $3 a day or whatever.
Yeah.
But a haircut didn't cost a gold bar.
I mean,
like
it's clearly
10
they're
cents.
just like, let's make money really hard to come by because that's authentic. But we got to make everything really expensive so that it takes a long time to do everything. So there's lots of content.
Yeah. And
And yeah,
totally unrelated to any of these stories, actually. This is also unrelated to Red Dead. Just before we went live, Foxmore actually tweeted at me a trailer for a PUBG Mobile Resident Evil 2 cross-branding thing.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. The trailer was just like some shots of creepy stuff and then a zombie, and then it was like PUBG Mobile Resident Evil 2. Ba-ba! And it's
only,
like,
but only,
what?
Only
What does-
PUBG Mobile.
I don't even know what it means. I don't know what it's. Is it a game mode? Can you just play as? Can you get like Leon and Claire skins? What it does? There was no indication of what the fuck it was.
PUBG already had a zombie mode, didn't it?
Yes, kinda. Anyway, and we talked about the adorable possum. So
Yes.
hey, do you want to compile your own Leisure Suit Larry?
No.
Good news. Oh well, then.
I have bad news for you.
Then bad news. I don't know. Mediocre news.
News that
Anyway,
doesn't affect me.
The source code's on eBay now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go bid on it or don't.
I love Al Lowe, who's the guy who was the original head designer behind Leisure Suit Larry and a bunch of other games too for Sierra Online, which was not online.
Yeah, I don't know why they called it that. but
It
here we
was
are.
cool.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Prescient.
and they yeah, there's all sorts of he says like, yeah, I think his thing was like, I'm like 70 and my kids aren't that interested in this stuff, so what the hell, maybe somebody else will get a kick out of it.
Fair enough.
Obviously, it does disclaim that this in no way gives you any intellectual property associated with the thing.
But you get the source code.
You get the source code and you can look at it. And to be honest, I would love if somebody knowledgeable about these things got access to the source code and then, told me about it in like a YouTube video. Because I'm always fascinated, because especially like these older games, the like amazing optimizations and hoops that they jump through in order to make things work the way they should, are, I find, always fascinating. I don't know enough about it myself to actually like get anything out of it, but somebody who knows what they're doing should get that and then tell me about it.
The Anarin linked to an Engadget article about the PUBG Mobile Resident Evil crossover that has no information. Because no one has any information. It's just like some sort of
It's happening.
crossover.
Yeah, the
that
information we
mean?
have is that it is a thing.
Yeah. We've introduced desync to Resident Evil
Okay,
2.
how about this? If something really amazing happens, like if some story that needs to be covered gets covered, we'll do it on Instagram.
Perfect.
All right.
Oh yeah, you want to know how to play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Tough shit. Doesn't come with a manual.
Which is apparently a thing now.
Most games don't come with manuals.
Nintendo games just don't come with manuals.
Yeah, most.
Have you
most
ever
games
read
don't.
a game manual in your life?
In-game tutorial?
I have.
Twice.
Never.
But anyway, somebody made
I hit my hat.
What's great is that somebody made a manual for Smash.
Yeah.
That's like super detailed, and like authentic. As in, like they really tried to capture the feel of manuals. It's got like the warranty and the legal speak stuff.
Yeah.
It's got like the page for notes in the last page that manuals always have that no one ever uses.
You can't see this, but it's like all the breakdowns of each character's moves.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm glad somebody made that. You can download that if you
So
really
you
want
can download it as like a PDF and print it out for yourself.
Jam it into your Switch case.
Put it into your Switch case.
linked
Because the
from-
Switch cases have like a lot of space in them that there could be a
It's
manual.
linked from an article on Kotaku. I didn't actually read this article. The headline is Battlefield 5's time to kill will be fixed, but not yet.
I don't know anything about Battlefield 5, and I have a fucking migraine, so I skipped it.
So, as the only one who barely read the story,
I looked at the headline and I was like, no.
so apparently they're concerned about that that Battlefield 5 is too fast-paced. The time to kill...
Too fast-paced.
Yeah, the time to kill and the time to die,
Yeah.
which, as you might imagine, are very closely related, is too short.
Interesting, because so in Destiny 2, people have been complaining for the longest time that the TTK is too long in PvP mode, and what that means in this case is it's how long it takes to kill someone, right? And the issue with Destiny 2 was always like you unload a full mag into somebody, and they don't quite die, and then they run away, and it's like you surprise them, you get the drop on them, you get a full, you get
You just can't
the
do
whole
damage
thing
fast enough.
Yeah, you can't. The time to kill was too long, such that it was like it made the game feel sluggish. So this is, I guess, the opposite problem, where it's just like, all right, I've spawned and I'm dead.
Yeah, apparently it just gives you the feels bad. So they've said that So the two things I really enjoy about this story is that one, they're like, we think this is a problem. We're not entirely sure how to fix it yet. Because, of course, as you can imagine, this is one of those things that there's like a billion different knobs that they could turn to change it, right? Changing the, how much life people have, how much damage things do, where people spawn, basically every single variable in the game is part of this. So they're not quite sure how to do it, but they say, so they're saying that they know that this is a problem, but it's not going to be fixed in like the next patch, but it will be fixed.
Great. We'll talk about it later then, when they fixed it or fucked it up worse.
Yes. The other part about this is that obviously Battlefield 5 is a World War II game.
Yeah.
So there's something about like all the people sitting around being like, the time to death in this thing is too high. What can we do to lower that?
Oh boy.
People aren't having fun.
Yeah.
Just like the real war.
Yeah.
And speaking of patches, the new tomorrow actually comes out the new Fallout 76 patch, increasing the stash limit, because you have a weight limit on your person, but then you have a stash and there's a weight, for some reason there's a weight limit on that.
People's stashes were
Yeah,
getting too large. They were overrunning their weight limits.
No, they're increasing the stash limit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's because their stashes were too big, and it made them. They were over encumbered by their stash.
So it was 400 pounds. Or I guess it still is. They're increasing
big
it.
stash.
Yeah, they're increasing it to 600 pounds. And they've said, I like this in the patch notes. They're like, we know this is conservative because people were like, we need way more because it's a game about going around and collecting and crafting.
Right.
And people are like, I don't have enough room to store all this garbage you're giving me, and I can't break down legendary items. I'm just throwing them away. And so they were like, okay. We're going to increase it from 400 to 600. We know this is a conservative increase. We're going to do it to 600. Make sure that doesn't break anything. And then we'll increase it more, assuming everything survives.
Right.
So it's like, all right, fair enough.
This is a story that I thought I sort of marked just because I thought it was interesting. There's a game called Aerodyne.
I watched the trailer
Two?
for it. It
Or
looks street.
Anodyne.
Anodyne 2. It's not, there isn't anything necessarily funny about it, but it's a new game that's coming out that it looks super neat because the premise of it is you're like going, it's got like a fantastic voyage thing going on. The Incredible Journey.
The Incredible Journey.
Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound,
The Fantastic Voyage.
Incredible Journey, where you shrink down and go inside people's bodies to fight like nano things inside them. Except the game is a full 3D game where you run around. Like it's kind of like a third person third person perspective thing where you run around. But then when you go into people's bodies, it turns into like a top down like
RPG.
pixel style like
Zelda-ish.
yeah, Zelda style, old school RPG or top down game, which I just thought was a really neat aesthetic.
Yeah, it looks like a PlayStation 1 game. Looks cool. A couple people I mean, we could just talk about it.
Oh, okay, sure.
Dice Friends next Monday.
Yeah.
No
Yes.
Dice Friends this Monday.
And if you want
That's today.
if you want value for money in the realm of music, specifically music from Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, then the entire soundtrack of 122 tracks has just been added to iTunes for the low price of $10. That's not bad.
Now, if, however, you only want a few tracks,
Well, they're $1 a piece.
they're $1 a piece. So still buy the whole thing.
Yeah. If you're gonna buy like
If you're going to buy more than like a couple tracks, you definitely don't want to do it piecemeal.
Yep. So that is indeed going to be.
I guess $1 is like the cheapest you can make a track on iTunes, I think. So,
But that's it. That's
How do you
gonna
spell Eevee?
EEVEE.
Right.
one E. EVEE.
What?
Oh.
Oh.
Well, this story is wrong.
Yeah, this is misspelled. Yeah.
You're lying to me, Polygon.
Lies on your internet this time of year?
Oh. It's the article by the
Siri, how many... Hey, Siri, how many E's are there in Eevee?
Looks like you can't
Siri doesn't
stream
even-
it if you have Apple Music, so you will have to buy it on iTunes.
Hey, Siri, how many E's are there in Eevee?
Okay, I found this on the web for how many years ago?
I mean, she figured it out.
Mine heard you say Erie, as in the lake, and then it corrected it to ED.
What I like about...
There's a Pokemon Christmas album!
What? Pokemon Christmas Bash from 2001. Are
Is
you
it-
serious?
Is it like... Pika, pika,
Nobody
pika,
don't
pika,
like
pika,
Christmas?
Pika, pika,
I'm
pika,
giving-
Pika, 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 pika,
What's the
pika.
song called?
I'm giving Santa a Pikachu this Christmas. Who's that the voice of?
Someone who's...
Is that the professor?
I hope I've got it near my microphone so everyone else can hear this too.
I'm surprised there aren't like a whole set of Christmas Pokemon.
Ash's voice.
Yeah. It's Ash and Professor Oak.
All right. Well, now we found something that you should buy instead of the Let's Go Eevee
No,
soundtrack.
if you have Apple Music, you can stream this masterpiece for free.
So, by the
Just
way,
did
actually,
you pay
though,
the $9 a month? Great.
so while Siri
Criminy.
couldn't tell me how many E's there are in Eevee, the transcription of me asking how many E's there are in Eevee spelled Eevee properly. so
there we are.
inadvertently, Siri did tell me.
All right,
Without
yeah.
even knowing.
Many people in chat saying that you should make this the do not press song. That was the starred
That'll
one.
never come up because nobody ever pushes it.
That was the most popular one.
Then it'll just sit there for a while.
To get all the pods muted.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
have hard time enough with that.
Oh,
Yeah,
they have a
kidding.
different version. There's a different version of. There's two versions.
What's the other version? Tell me it's instrumental only so you can sing along.
I don't know.
Does the
Wait,
We Are
it was in
Santa's
brackets.
elves
What was it?
get us muted?
Why'd you put your phone to sleep? It's
Because I.
karaoke version. It's spelled karaoke. It's the karaoke version.
What about
Professor?
the Christmas song?
This one is for all our fans.
There's a Team Rocket song.
Well, after they did this,
Yes.
Team Rocket should be getting like coal in their stocking.
chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
As a fellow
Oh my
evil
God, please
lady,
stop.
I'm super into that one at least.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
It's spoken word.
I'm so happy, but my head hurts so badly, and the laughter
I
has
feel-
made my headache worse.
I
no.
feel like there's, yeah. It reminds me a little bit of like the Simpsons album, The Simpsons Sing the Blues.
Oh yeah.
This for Brave New Faves, when? Never.
So,
Anyway,
tomorrow on the channel.
lots of cool stuff coming up this week.
Oh yeah, we've got a busy week.
Let's actually talk about the whole week. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, James Surgeon Uno are still doing modded Minecraft. New Day Tuesday, just cause, it's Just Cause 4. Paul and James will be attaching things to other things and blowing it all up
Probably.
in Just Cause 4. One more, PUBG, with some custom games with James following that. And then Tuesday night, Talking Simulator with Cameron and Corey, going back to Cultist Simulator. Wednesday morning, of course, is the Magic Show on the Magic Channel. We'll be hosting it here as well. Watch and Play with myself and Alex. And AFK this week is an adorable-looking asymmetrical board game called Root, which with Ben, Kathleen, Cameron,
It is.
and Ian.
There's been a lot of hype around this game.
As it
I
looks
love
like
the
a lot.
idea of an
supposed to be really
asymmetrical strategy game so much.
Thursday,
You get to play adorable animals. I don't think anybody is a albino possum. Though.
No, but you
Sadly
do
enough.
get to play a raccoon, which is sort of in the mischievous four-legged animal category.
you're going to be the raccoon or the Marquis of Cats?
It depends what everybody else wants to play.
All right. Thursday, Games of Chance, TBD. I'm going to figure out what you guys are going to do on
Yeah.
Games of Chance.
It's going to be a clicker game, though.
Oh, boy.
That's fun.
Well, I hope you got a lot of chatting to do with you got a lot of chat topics prepared to
Oh, yeah.
have a chin wag with the viewers. LRMTG, of course, on Thursday from 2 to 5, and then from 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, we are co-streaming the 2018 Game Awards on Twitch. Myself, Ian, Kathleen, and Ben will be there. Friday morning,
Now Kiss returns. Jacob and I are going to dive back into the world of Oz Mafia. So.
and their naive protagonist.
Fuck. God Christ. Ah.
I can't wait.
That's my read on that. Ah.
That goes until noon, and then from noon to 6, it's a special day. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is out. We're going to be doing that
Yeah.
for 6 hours. There's going to be a bunch of folks around for that.
Put Loading Ready Run and Smash, you cowards.
And then from 6 to 9, it's an Ultimate Masters Draft with James,
It's the
Surge,
ultimate Masters Draft.
with James, Surge, Adam, myself, Cameron, and Ben. And then on Saturday, Adam's Game House, the Golf God returns with more Dark Cloud 2. So, yeah.
I was thinking about, I think it was during the Friday Night Paper Fight.
Put Beach in Smash at least.
Yeah, somebody was making it put whatever in Smash, and I'm imagining, because there's the whole thing where is it Sakurai?
Yeah, Sakurai, yeah.
That he was getting like super fed up with people being like that, and he's like, it's got the biggest roster ever. Like, we've tried to put everybody in it, and he's getting very frustrated with that thing. And I just want, like, somebody, it's like, just, it just catches him right at the, you know, somebody's like, yeah, put beige in Smash, you cowards. And he's like, fine, you know what? We're going to do that. Let's put that. Somebody tell me what that is. We're going to put it in Smash.
Yeah, fine. You know what?
Fine.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
Who cares?
everything's going in Smash now.
Yeah.
Like it just catches him right at the right time.
Except
When he just doesn't care
except
anymore.
Waluigi.
That would be so good, though. Beach in his convention outfit.
Yeah, it would be, of course.
What about me and my migraine hat?
Kathleen in the migraine hat. You could be an Echo Fighter. It means you have to have the same moveset, which would be perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Put Gritty in Lure, you cowards. If Gritty wants to come here, I mean, we're not paying for him. He can come here on his own dime.
The Flyers were.
Does Gritty have money?
The Flyers had an away game during PAX Unplugged.
But somebody did Gritty cosplay.
And the
Very
Enforcer
good.
did a pretty convincing Gritty cosplay.
It was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I feel like Gritty doesn't pay for a lot of things.
No.
Both because he doesn't have money and because
And because
nobody
he supports a
will-
radical redistribution of the system of wealth.
and also nobody's willing to like ask him for money.
I unclipped my microphone, I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's move on to stuff.
Like he just goes to a place and like starts eating all the food.
Yeah.
And people like, should we stop him? You want to stop him? All right.
No, I don't want to stop him. He's keeping a human being trapped inside him.
Thank you for watching and supporting us. But in particular, thank you to the people who subscribed during the stream. Starting with
PK Jester. PK Jester.
I was getting there. For 15 bucks, thank you.
Ash Burnham with a 27-month reset. Welcome back.
Hey, it's Evan. It's Evan Line 20, who's come back for 2 months. Hooray! Thank you.
Blue Mechanic for 54 months.
I can just see like your chin in the blackness. I like sheepies. For a 6-month reset. Welcome back.
This sub called out by the void. Tomasu82, 4 months.
Tony Stark, 1986. Gifted by Pharaoh Blender, 27.
Charlemandius. Nice. With an 8-month reset. Welcome back.
Karfsma 778 and her dark portent heralds your arrival for 20 months.
It's got some good whoop to the...
Transcast for 13 months. Welcome back.
Brit 1030. 21-month reset. Welcome back.
I scry these bones into my cauldron of magma and lizard guts and see that Fadal is a brand new subscriber.
Kohai Mathy for 6 months.
Mercurial Vox with a 24-month resub of the 2 years.
Come down to my beautiful swamp witch hut and enjoy my delicious gingerbread cookies. Cookroop, 15 months you shall be trapped here in my den of actual nice interior design and cookies. Yes, I am not an evil bog witch.
I'm sorry, Pharaoh Bender. Did Paul say Pharaoh Blender?
I did.
Apparently we specifically, like Loading Ready Run, keeps adding an L to their name.
I guess the image of Pharaoh Blender is just kind of stuck in my brain. Like that seems like a crazy thing.
Take a mummy, grind it up.
Yeah,
Add some eye of
I think
newt.
it's actually a Futurama reference.
Sort of.
Pharaoh Bender. No, their real name
Oh,
is Pharaoh Bender.
Oh, right, because there's that episode of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Baby Blue Hippo for 18 months. Thank you for subscribing for 18 months.
Diamond MX with a 12-month resub of the 1 year.
Yes, it's time for Penthesilea 180, who's been coming down to Bogwitch Central for 17 months.
Hogwarts Central.
We've got deals. Cauldrons.
Foxmar 320. Gifted by an anonymous gifter.
Oh.
Who could it be?
Reneko with a 44-month resub. Welcome back.
Malkarath. Your name sounds particularly witchy. Good job. 33 months.
Sir Donut. for 4 months. Thank you for subscribing.
Mugu Lord with a 12-month reset. Welcome back.
Hungry Hamst for 3 months. If any hungry Hamsts comes to my bog witch cottage, I will feed you and I will give you scritches, because I am a nice bog witch.
Togashi Naruta for 59 months. Woo! Very nice.
Tim I am. Yeah,
I am Tim.
Tim I am. For 31 months. Tim I am.
Ah. The dark moon prophesies that Sir Octopus shall return for the 26th month. Thank you, Sir Octopus.
Gorgon's Mind for 30 months.
Rain Murphy and a brand new sub. Welcome to the channel.
And-
Twitch.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Yeah.
Look, as a professional streaming bog witch, I'm going to call out the sub for Twitch. Twitch, thank you so much for your support for these 6 years that we've been doing this.
XW Nivek.
Stark to crate ratio for 23 months.
Ipson 13 with a 31-month reset. Welcome back.
The Blood Moon heralded the return of Ryson, who has been subscribed for 63 big months. Thank you, Ryson.
And 375 bits from Lord Crusher, H-Bomb and Friends, and Foxmar 320.
I shall put these bits into my soup,
Delicious.
which is not like a soup of children. I'm not that kind of witch.
Bit soup.
I'm just like, prognostications, minor hexes, that kind of thing. You come in and you ask for directions, and I'll just pull it up on Google Maps and send you on your way. Let's rehabilitate the image of a bog witch.
I'm going to go have lunch and sit in the dark.
That's literally all I ever want to do, but today especially, yes.
Great.
Actually, I want to go to London Drugs and just maybe I will keep the hat and the sunglasses on and just walk up to the pharmacy counter and be like, help me.
Can you guess why this is here?
And I'll
It's
be
a
like,
great mental image.
look, lady, it's busy in here.
You'll
You
just
seem
go,
to have a lot of problems. Could you be more specific?
All right.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.
See you.
Bye.